who are going to schools right now, even while we speak, and they are just sitting in classes, especially engineers, students that their work is more practical than theory, and they just know theory of what they are learning, and they have never touched an apparatus that is required for them to even learn. Now, if we're saying that the school is like we're producing graduates that are not technically advanced, I think we should blame the system that is producing
These
graduates, not the people coming out of. Because if you're not going to blame the product, you're going to blame the producer for producing this half-baked product.
I think I agree with you, but Kevin, let's hear from you first.
No, I want to say the same thing because I graduated from school that I did not do practical aspects of what I studied. I did the theory aspect of what I studied. Even when I was doing my IT, ABU Zaria student and me were doing IT together. There are some things this ABU Zaria will do or say. I'll be like, girl, you need to learn again. That is how most schools produce most of the students.
We have seen videos, Charles, on social media of core members who find it difficult to even express themselves properly. These are people who studied God knows what course for. I mean, the shortest time you can spend in school is 4 years, right?
Well, with ASU strike and everything.
Make it 5 years. Let's not bring ASU strike first. Right? So the shortest time that you can spend in a university system is 4 years.
Yeah.
Now, you see videos of people who have finished school, you've done your project, done everything, and then you're wearing our NYSC uniform on social media. You cannot communicate properly. Right? And it was on this show that I also talked about. I agree with the Minister of Education with that. Our education system, it needs a lot of reform. In fact, it needs an overhaul. Our curriculum, everything is in our university systems that maybe you're a computer science student and now for only textbook they see computer. Do you understand? You're not touching anything. You come out and you know how it is that it is even when you practicalize that the knowledge stays with you. Sometimes the theoretical aspects, maybe it just comes and it goes. But when you do something hands-on, you get it right. We're looking at the medical students. Let's not even go there.
No.
Medicine and surgery students, their laboratories, what does it look like?
When was the last time you saw a cadaver in an actual university?
What does it look like? All of these things. That's why I asked the question, whose fault? And you clearly said it. If a product doesn't have quality, you blame whoever produced it. Not because we're seeing cases of university students graduating based on sorting.
Yes.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
When I was in school, some people who came to take exams with us, you'll be wondering where all these people come aside from, because you've never seen them in class. They've never taken any test. Nothing. They come during the exam day. Shock you say when results come aside. Then go even pass you where we say you did inside.
Oh, that's the very important part. Look.
System, structure.
If we keep diving into this, I feel like that there are tables we would shake.
Please shake the table.
They will not
That's why we're here.
with the table shaking. So there are institutions where you had mentioned people that graduated like uppers who are unable to even communicate properly. Now that one is, I feel like there's the negligence from the coppers who were unable to learn on their own. That's that. But there are people who were very, very dedicated in school. They took out their time. These people that refused to go through the failing system of even sorting, and they said, no, I will not sort, and we are doing carryover and over and over and over again. And these people were frustrated in school to the point that these people could probably lecture you better than your lecturers because they've understood this course and how it works.
And you're seeing them fail because they refuse to compromise.
Exactly. And you know that this is like the problem that is holding them back in this system. And if they're hearing this headline of the Minister of Education saying that we are no longer we will stop universities from producing incompetent graduates. And I'm telling you, sir, I have not even graduated because the school is not letting me be competent. It's a slap on their faces. There are graduates or undergraduates who are still going to school right now and they don't know jack about what they're studying. And there are people who are still going to school right now or have graduated that would, like I said, would lecture you better than a few of your lecturers. But they have nothing to show for it because of how the system had produced them.
Kebby, let's talk about structure for a bit, Charles. If we're going to achieve this thing that the Minister of Education is saying, I mean, producing graduates with technical skills and putting your foot down and saying we're going to stop any university from producing graduates without technical skills, it needs structure for us to make this work. And you see how that this does not relate to private universities.
Of course it doesn't.
It is the federal universities. Do you understand the point I'm trying to make? And if we're going to talk about this, there has to be structures in place now. You don't just wake up one morning to say, okay, you know what, we're going to stop universities from. Have you put things in place to make it work? How many times have ASU and what was that other one? NASU. How many times have they gone on strike? They've been having conversation bordering around what they need from federal government since 2019 or 2009. And some of the things that they are asking for is also for the improvement of the education system. It's also to help them to work effectively. We're talking about sorting now. You know that there's a way that, the government improves the salaries of the lecturers, and we will not hear that any lecturer is collecting money from students for sorting. Because the government is going to hold you accountable because they are paying you well. To make that lecturers will do their jobs effectively, use students who are intellectually capable and also equipped technically, face the society or to contribute to the society. And it makes that for every year we're rolling out, school members will soon come out from camp, other ones will soon enter. We're producing graduates every other day, and you're seeing that most of these people don't have employable skills.
When we start looking at employable skills, there's before we even start looking at even the way to even solve this problem, I really don't think that schools, the university, equips people for the real world.
Yeah.
That's doesn't.
Another conversation.
It really doesn't equip you for the real world. It doesn't teach you because now look at the first aspects that we're looking at from like gaining jobs after you had graduated or even being employable. You're entering the workspace and they're telling you have to have had like this amount of time before you. The system that was produced to actually help you mitigate that will be like the IT, the industrial. What's it called? The IT, the industrial training system, where you get to experience or go work in the field that you're studying for like 6 months or a year before you even get to graduate and go there and work. When you get there, the unfortunate part is that a lot of times you get.
Should I just share about my experience?
Hold on, we're getting there. You get to the offices and they use you as an errand boy. Unfortunately, you don't learn anything. You're just there to help them print
and there's no system in place to also checkmate it. Because if you, as a system, as a university system, is sending students, to go and practice, there should be maybe some sort of supervision from you to come to the wherever it is that you send them to go for their IT, or maybe a company or the institution to say, what are you doing with my students? How are they doing? Are they improving? Are they doing well? Are they actually learning?
No, the thing is they do. Like my school we had supervisors that came around. And the funny part is that the people actually you're working on that in that station or wherever you're working with will tell the supervisors, this student is doing great,
whether he's working well,
whether he's not. You see the student has learned a lot. Like this one, I'm talking of experience now, witness it. They say the child, the student, the person that the student is working on, they'll be like, he's hardworking, he makes sure that he handles the things very well. I've taught this child a lot. And you as a supervisor, even if you ask the student will also tell you, yes,
Exactly.
I've learned a lot.
Exactly. And there's also willpower from the students.
Like, I think before we even start, I feel
There's
like
also
the
willpower from the students.
like I had mentioned earlier, before we get to blaming the products, being the graduates here, we have to checkmate the systems. Before we get to the point where we start blaming the students or the graduates that have come out of the schools for not being competent enough to even like thrive in society, we have to have checked the fact that society had made, or even the schools had made it that you're studying for a passing grade, not because you're studying to know or even excel in what you are
Exactly.
studying.
You just sometimes you hear students say, "Make I just get C. Like I'll just at least make no be say I fail."
Before we even get there, you're going to pay for you're paying for your school fees or paying for any of those departmental stuff, and then you're going to this person's office and the person is as frustrated as what you don't know, and the person is transferring his aggression on you, and your day is already ruined. Learning is ruined for you that day.
Let's not talk about non-academic stuff. Today is not their day.
So these are things that you have to check. Now I get that it's if they have adequate salaries and benefits that they are earning. Nobody will, you cannot be
pay
vexing for
attention
me.
to their
It's your
jobs.
job. You're
Yeah,
doing your job.
do your
I'm coming
job.
here to ask you about details concerning what I should pay. And you're frustrated that I'm asking you questions that requires your job.
And you're telling me come back tomorrow. I'm looking at you. You're not doing anything.
You're literally not doing anything, and I'm asking you questions that are concerning your job, and you're frustrated that transferring it to me. That's a no. That should not be working. But unfortunately, we know that it's stemming from inadequate paid salaries and benefits. That's where it's coming from.
Yeah.
Because I did not offend you in your house. It's not me that made food to finish in your house.
Let's take this text from WhatsApp. It's from Yinka. He says, or she says, "Good morning. As regards the Education Ministry calling for churning out quality graduates, in my opinion, it's the government agencies that's at fault. They refuse to checkmate the way they are operating, but they sit in their offices to apportion blame." Thank you. That's from Yinka. Thank you so much, Yinka, for your contribution. And that's just basically what Charles is saying this morning. So we're just hoping that this, the pledge from the Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji, we're hoping that would be alive to see this pledge come to pass, right? We will be alive to see a reformed education system where graduates come out and they can work, they can contribute to society. They've been adequately equipped by the education system. Charles, I don't like how you're smiling at me like Sosha. What are you saying?
Before we even get
I don't believe you.
Before we get there, I dare say I would agree with the government in this case, but it's not in the route that they are looking at it.
Let's take this call.
All right.
Sorry. Hello. Good morning. Good morning,
Mr. Bright.
Mr. Bright. Good morning.
No,
No, it's Charles. It's Charles.
Yes.
Good morning, Mr.
Good
Bright.
morning.
You know what I thought early?
What?
You feel this is we people are talking here. When you have a dysfunctional you copy that in school before. Maybe a subject, maybe you are maybe an accident and the student don't give you to go and write an exam and you are copying someone. You know you can copy something that's irrelevant and put it on your book. That's what they do here. All these are administrators of ministers you see. They just all this school in Harvard or Cambridge, they go and write address for them. They will not surprise, they just go to the restroom and read everything verbatim without going through it. And this is any of them that will start to give a speech without reading it on the paper. It's because they put it out for them to go and read. So let me tell you.
Mr. Bright is shaking table.
You are a broadcaster. You are a broadcaster. After going through maybe reading mass communication or journalism, they will tell you to go and learn thread, maybe to go and learn how to sew shoe. How does that one relate their profession.
How many universities have radio stations? How many?
No. They will tell you to go and learn shoemaker. To go and accompany. How does he help you in
Your
profession?
field of study.
Yes. Let me tell you, the problem is this. Universities of technology, how many of them have industries? Government, how much has government given them for research? For science department, or some of them, or how does it give up to subtract? And somebody who read the chemical, and he comes to that industry, he comes to Nigeria, you don't have a talent, you don't have the chemical industry, you don't have maybe plants that produce fertilizer. How will that person survive? It doesn't matter when you have the rest of the technology and you have industry, as the students might have been graduated from the school, they go straight into those industries. They go there and perfect their studies. But see, look at government telling you to go and they will provide what they call it employable graduates. It's the same government that is doing an accountant in Ministry of Power, and the power is end. Every day they are telling you power
Grid has collapsed.
they have collapsed. Why? Now you don't want that. Every day you collapse. You say people now, okay, look,
Sorry.
sometimes when I look at this country, I say, what type of country is this? When you want to screen if what is available to make you to work in Nigeria, you this country that they're not reform. So when I look at you and I look at their track record and they are saying everything, I know that all these things they are saying is hypocrite. Go to the school, you see that the messages are even suffering. When we are in school, in University of Nigeria and so that, there's a guy they call Stephen Kide. He was in the value of physics. The guy has been in that school for over 6 years. He has not graduated. But that guy can teach you.
That's what Charles was saying here.
The bomb and consulting it does. But why is this guy not graduating? Because of the failure in the system. And okay, who are those people who are going to supervise the education system? Is it not the people that have got employment with complimentary cards? They didn't choose interview. They say students will get one floor, get floor. Will go to a village. Whether you go to school or you went to school or you didn't know, the course you read in school, whether it's pertinent to the where you are going to employ you, it doesn't matter. They just say they have given you. What's the school? You see that the senior staff that they doing the most of the work for the senior director and so the rest of them in school.
The submission, Mr. Bright.
The submission is that is a system failure.
Yes, so.
Hypocrisy does not solve anything. Look at our go to our schools now. Do they have computers? Some of them say I have a computer school. They don't even have computers to operate on. And you want to tell me that those people will improve. You go to China and see the issues and drink water. You come from ourselves with China. You call yourself giant of
Africa.
What are you thinking about? When you come on down here and celebrating. The system failure. Unless they do the right thing. Forget about politics. Politics does not see the thing. You have to see the things on ground. What is available on ground? It's just like you are playing football. You have not scored the same dribble the role player and dribble the fan. Are you not joking? The politics does not let you now.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bright. Thank you for your contribution. It's just basically what we've been, saying here, and that's why I was saying before Charles started smiling at me. That's why I was saying that let's be hopeful with this. What the Minister of Education has come out to say. Let's be hopeful and believe that in years to come, the education system in Nigeria is really going to address this issue of graduates lacking technical skills, and they are going to put measures in place. They are going to reform the system. They are going to help ASU, help NASU, the people that are in the system. Let's just believe.
Like what Mr. Bright said, when they write speech for you and you come out and say what you want to say without actually knowing what the problem is, but you just say it because they wrote a speech for you, that statement is so holistic that it triggers certain sides that it's not helping the it's not even providing any solution here. Because if you say tackling universities that are producing on graduates that don't have technical skills, it's first striking the graduates, because now it's striking them out as making them unemployable and making them incompetent, that they had not even like done anything proper in the school, rather than tackling the schools that were not produced, that are producing the inadequate
It's more like focusing on the
products than
other than the producer.
So before we even get to the point of even saying university students or graduates in the past decade are unemployable, blah blah blah, let's check the system. The universities in the last 10 years and see what they have been teaching people.
The
You
thing
know,
is,
they
yeah.
also too added this to their issues that they placed before the federal government. They brought it out and said, okay, apart from their 2009 negotiation and the 2022 health salary, they talked of infrastructures. They talk of making the school better.
Some of the new structures you see in universities is TED fund now.
They
Of
talk
course,
They talk
a
about
lot of
TED fund.
They talk about making the school better, where the school is equipped, so that when they are teaching the students, they know what the students are actually learning, rather than just the theory aspect.
Till now, Kebi, if you attend a GST lecture, general classes, in the halls, you see thousands of students in a big hall, one lecturer in front who doesn't even have a speaker.
Speaking of GST courses,
Screaming.
Speaking of GST courses, I have stood on this opinion that a lot of the GST courses that we're teaching is supposed to help students in the outside world, and it's not teaching. I would stand on this statement, quote me anyway. It's not helping anything that we're learning in outside society. It doesn't teach us how to write a proper application. It doesn't teach you how to do your taxes when you get out of school. It doesn't teach you how to even structure a business if you want to start up a business. Because if you're looking at entrepreneurship and that there's been taught there, none of anything that is taught in those courses is teaching you how to run a proper business. So if we're really going to go there, check those courses. Let us actually fix those courses before we get to talking about the students or the graduates that is
The
producing.
thing is that if we stay on this matter, there's so much things to fault, right? So let's just end this particular conversation by saying that Minister of Education, we see you, we hear you, we want to see actions, right? Let's move forward to Punch this morning. Corruption's allegation. Presidency attacks OBJ as opposition backs ex-president. Let's look into the main story. Now, the Nigerian presidency has criticized former President Olusegun Obasanjo for his comments on corruption and the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Now, Obasanjo, speaking at the Chinua Achebe Leadership Forum, described corruption in Nigeria as fatal and called for the sacking of INEC chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu over his handling of the 2023 elections. The presidency, through special advisor Bayo Onanuga, accused Obasanjo of hypocrisy, citing his own administration's history of electoral malpractices and corruption. Now, Onanuga pointed out that Obasanjo's criticism of President Bola Tinubu's administration were unfounded, given his own legacy of egregious, backed Obasanjo's comments on corruption and electoral reform. They demanded Yakubu's dismissal and an overhaul of the electoral system, with some calling for investigations into INEC's alleged mismanagement of resources. The debate highlights the ongoing concerns about corruption, electoral integrity, and governance in Nigeria. Obasanjo's comments have sparked a national conversation, with many Nigerians echoing his sentiments on social media and calling for accountability from public officials. The controversy has also raised questions about the role of elder statesmen in speaking truth to power and promoting national progress. Now, I think there's a blame game here in play, but before I say anything, Kevin, what are your thoughts on this?
No, I like the fact that he came out to state the obvious, because it's actually the obvious. There's corruption on our electoral processes, and it needs reform. Our electoral processes need reform. Looking at every election that has been conducted in Nigeria so far, the recent ones, you see a lot is happening. I told you about the Ondo stuff, and you're like, nah, it's not gonna happen. I told you.
Charles Kirby predicted the Ondo election on air.
And he said, nah, it's not gonna happen. Why am I being like that? Okay, nah, and it happened because I told you, first of all, I said, now election is not based on the people coming out to vote. It's not based on, okay, how many people come out to vote. It's based on power. It's based on who is sitting on the throne. If PDP have enough strength to stand against APC, that's why you see that state where PDP comes out to be the winner. If APC has enough strength, that's why you see APC coming out to be the winner. Then when you talk about, if you want to place Rivers State in it, you see how Rivers State election happened. So now it's not based on the people anymore. It's based on power, and now we know who is sitting on the throne. We know who is ruling us. We know that it's the APC, and they have made that statement clearly that they have intentions of taking out of them making the APC to be covered in all the states. You see, so it's the electoral processes in Nigeria. It needs reform. So I'm glad he came out to state the obvious. So it's not like corruption has not been in its own tenure. Corruption been there in own time, but for the fact that other leaders it's good to come out to say the truth. You tell them, okay, this is how we are doing it. It's good to tell this present leaders the truth so that they will know where and how to handle. But they will not. I know they are not going to accept it. They will believe that whatever thing they are doing is right. I mean, there's a lot of backing for them. World Bank came out and said whatever thing they are doing is good. APC leaders too have also come out to say whatever thing they are doing is good. Even Minister of Finance said to us has also come out one way or the other to say whatever thing that this present administration is doing is good. So you see, there's a lot of backing. There's this and this about backing. They are making him this present administration not to see the truth and the bad and the good in whatever thing they are doing. Because once you back what the person is doing, the person believe that maybe the president or the administration believe that okay, yes, we are on the right track. But even if we're much, they'll come out to say, okay, what you are doing is not good, then maybe there'll be a little change. But the thing is, Nigerians are complaining and we're crying, but so far so good, no change. So I'm happy he came out to state it, even though they are not going to accept it. I mean, even former president Buhari too came out and said, this statement you have made, your own penalty is also bad.
Charles, did you want to say something before?
I think I'll just piggyback off what she said, especially when it comes to the electoral process that goes on in Nigeria. I'm really not surprised whenever a ruling power wins a particular state. My only issue is that if it almost feels like we are no longer in a democracy, because if people decided in some way that it's still these people that we want in a particular state, and the only solution is to, after the electoral body had conducted the election, and after all that, we have to go to court to settle it.
Then
where's the democracy?
Where's the democracy?
Before you even talk about the transparency, it's like, where's the democracy? Is it not supposed to be chosen by the people? So why are we going to the courts to decide the fate of the people? We're supposed to be the ones picking who is leading us. Why are we leaving it to the hands of the judiciary in this case?
And the judiciary itself is not like they are on their own. They are still supporting.
They don't have
Exactly. They don't have autonomy.
They are still supporting that present sitting person. So how do you expect to win?
That's even where my issue is. Now, before we even get to the point of viewing the obvious trend of governments that is always pointing fingers at people who have done other things before them, we will always see this. It's very common. If I come here and critique, if I had hosted this show and I come and tell you there's a way you should host this show, you come and tell me in my time there was this buzz used to hear in the radio station at that time. It's the same thing that we expect every time that every sitting government would do. There's always the when we point out a particular what I want to say failure is more like a lapse from the administration. They'll be like, but it happened in your own time too. So before you even start talking, that come out the log that's in your eye before you start commenting the speck in mine.
And that's also why I would say that we agree that, everybody had issues in their own time, but that's not what we want to talk about. That's not the conversation that Nigerians want to even hear. We don't want to be seeing somebody pointing finger or, throwing blame games and all of that. There's something that is very visible on ground. The first one, electoral malpractice. We are seeing it.
We've seen it happen.
Corruption. These are things that, the ex-president pointed out. We're seeing electoral malpractices. We're seeing corruptions. Nigerians are seeing it. What the conversation we're supposed to be having is, how can we fix these things? Not seeing on the news that, presidency have attacked ex-presidents. Ex-presidents have come back and fired back. Afenifere have come out to support these people. That the thing that is happening is still happening.
The backlogging of
It's still happening.
is annoying. It's still
We
going
need
on.
electoral integrity. The voting process is like X, and talk about elections. You hear Nigerians in their thousands and in their millions come out to say, we do not trust the system. So if it's about electoral integrity, they're still falling short.
Of course.
It needs reform. And when that, the INEC, when we're asking for answers from the INEC, who is supposed to answer? Is it not the Oga Patapata? Yes, now it's the INEC chairman.
Of course.
That needs to answer some questions. Professor Mahmoud Yakubu needs to answer some questions. Do you understand the point I'm trying to make? Hey, so that's it. We're not looking at pointing fingers, who is doing who is doing what. No, that's not what Nigerians... See, Nigerians, we are even tired. We're tired. The average Nigerian now is on survival mode. We're looking for how, God will just help us in this country. We're not looking at So if an ex-president does wrong, or a past regime didn't get it right, the present regime
Should try and get it right.
is it not supposed to get better with you? Are we supposed to be comparing the later with the former? The former with the later? No, we need change.
And we really need to get to a point in society, or even in the government, where if a previous government critiques you, take it with a grain of salt. Don't start saying...
And do better.
Do better.
Do better.
We'd expect that you do better than the last people, not that you point fingers and say, because, you people did it too. Your time wasn't better. We're not expecting... We shouldn't be hoping for... We shouldn't even be having... I was saying that... Obasanjo's time was better than this. That shouldn't be a conversation. A previous government should not have been better than the present one. That's not the conversation we should be having.
Progress. We shouldn't be retrogressing.
Mm-hmm.
And talking about Kirby, talking about investigations into INEC's alleged mismanagement of resources. It's not today that we started hearing that INEC, is mismanaging funds or is mismanaging resources.
Nothing has been going on for a very long time.
It's not today we started hearing it. So, but if there's an investigation, at least we'll know which one is which. Which one is, are they really mismanaging funds? Are the funds going into what is supposed to go into? The people that needs to ask these questions needs to start asking these questions. If there are sectors to probe, they should be probed. I don't know why we're always scared of whenever we talk about investigations probe. If your hands are clean, you're not even supposed to be complaining in the first place. Come outside and answer questions that Nigerians need answers to. Period. Yes, I don't need that. Calm down.
Calm down. See, this whole process of the thing for another president coming out. See, I will not lie, Obasanjo times, it's not like there was no corruption, but it was better. At least he was able to reduce our debt as at that time. He was able to, there's so many things that he was able to do that now if you look at it, you'll be like, we really need to go back to some of our past presidents, because this present administration is not doing anything to make it better. To them, they believe that they are doing it. That's why the president came out and said all ministers should come out and say what you are doing so that the people can feel your impact on your seat. But if they can actually
come out and say what they're doing and do what they're supposed to do.
No, he said, Charles, he said they should come out and say it. They're not feeling it. He said it.
We should not be hearing them say it.
We've
should
heard it.
see
We've
them.
heard enough.
We know what their appointments
We've
are.
heard enough.
We know what they were appointed to do. We're
But-
not seeing what they appointed them to
Get,
do.
get my point. He said it, and I'm only quoting what he said. He said they should come out and say it. That if they say it, then the people will know what they are doing. And I cited an example. Wiki don't need to say what he's doing. Everybody is seeing the work of Wiki. That one, you don't even need to come out and say, I'm fixing the road. Because you know that we're doing it. So the thing is that they need to.
Okay, let's take this call. Sorry, Kevin. You continue. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Mr. John, is that you?
No.
Oh, okay. Oh, Robert.
No, Mr.
Mr.
Robert,
Robert, good morning. Good morning, Mr. Robert. Please go ahead.
Please, I want to ask Mr.
Charles.
No.
Okay, Mr. Tinubu.
Yes. During Obasanjo time, the first question, how much is fuel? Yes.
Let's start from the very obvious question.
It's not obvious question. It's a simple question. How much is fuel during Obasanjo? Then how much did they sell food stuff? Maybe right now, how much did they sell during Obasanjo? Then how much did they sell during the old time now? Let us be sincere and ask those questions. If you want to go by right now, it's about 150,000 a bag. Am I right?
If we still even add money, this is a
Yes.
festive period now.
Mm-hmm.
So to come outside now, something that the own government better than Obasanjo is something maybe that don't know what they are doing. They don't know what they are saying. You understand? They don't know. Even to compare your own government to Goodluck, you know they should be cut out of Goodluck. Let us be sincere. Cut out of Goodluck. Tinubu government knows it. So when I heard the matter this morning or yesterday, totally I was strict. Just say Tinubu, I don't shame President right now. I am very shame. Then they come out now. They talk those countries, the government, our what is or they start the correction. They start the correction here, but look at the whole time now. Then compared to the former time, those are better. The first question in the motor 2013, where I was in Nigeria, 2013, from my area to Jami or Vega is 300 to 250, but this morning I enter 1,500. I enter 1,500 from 250 to 1,500. So you very bad now for months. You get the criticize the person say your own government better than the own. Even blind man or madman accept this comment where Nigeria Tinubu government is comment for social media whatever done.
Thank you so much, Mr. Robert.
We bet them. Make them not promote. They talk to those countries. We will make Nigeria people. That system with God. They're going to die alone. You hear the comment.
I beg you, we never dey shoot anybody. I beg, no vex, Mr. Robert.
It's not that they can shoot somebody. When the talk comes, if they give you the talk like this, you will die by yourself. Yeah, you will die because the talk will make you somehow. The talk will make you go think so they.
You go get high blood pressure.
Nigeria government now.
Thank you, Mr. Robert, for your submission. I appreciate you. Thank you so much on that one.
know, this is the-
You say you get some kind of conversations where you go to hear Nigeria government they talk. You say you never, it doesn't never happen. I just hear them. Don't enter the other side of the world.
You know, before we even get to the point of looking at how this conversation is going, this is why I don't like having these conversations about
Nigerian politics.
If not just even that, if a previous government critiques the present administration, the comparison of okay, but this thing you're criticizing me for was happening in your time too. So now look at our last
Mr.
caller,
Roberts.
Mr. Roberts, now talking about how much was fuel in in Obasanjo's time.
If you will
So
put,
now,
if you will
why-
put on side by
if you want to
side,
start doing bar for bar,
Comparison.
aura for aura, comparison for comparison, fuel for fuel, rice for rice.
for rice.
Let's look at all of those. So if
Oh my
corruption was
God.
on the rise in Obasanjo's time and it's not as much on in Tinubu's regime right now, it's we have a fuel inflation higher here. So you're beating him in this particular one. That's the weird comparison I really don't like, because we are now missing the point of what the conversation was for, to reform the electoral body. Because now we start doing comparison. How much rice?
Understand.
How much was
And
this?
that's
we miss the
how we always deviate. That's how we exactly. That's how we always Nigeria. Instead of understanding what people are talking about, fixing the problems, you start throwing blames before you know what is happening. The
We're
conversation
forgetting
has
what we were talking
moved
about.
from solutions, from providing solutions to comparison. Let's take this one on WhatsApp. It says, good morning, guys. The issues of education is alarming in this country. The problem is that the lecturers themselves, some of them were not trained with the same practical methods that they're supposed to teach. We need to go back to the roots of how people get to become lecturers or teachers. Are they trained in the right way? Don't just give them a job based on certificate qualifications. Train them, improve their knowledge base, and change their attitude. This is critical, especially for professional courses. If not, we'll end up producing incompetent engineers or architects that lead to collapsed buildings all over the country. That's just one example. And this one is from George from Guarimpa. And George raised a very,
This is a very valid point.
important point right there. Talking about how that people train the way they were trained.
Of course.
And if you look at some of these lecturers, when was the last time they went back to school to brush up on their knowledge? Charles, you get me, right? So we're looking at some lecturers who, when the curriculum passed down to them or when they were trained, there were no much practicals in that time. How are they supposed to teach, the present people, practical courses? Do you understand? And he cited examples about collapsed buildings and incompetent engineers and all of that. So I think that's also a valid point. Thank you so much, George from Guarimpa, for that valid point.
That collapse building happened once too in my school, and luckily the girl that was on there, she was able to escape because.
Before we
As well.
before we move on from that particular
Comment,
this is, I just want to put it out there that this is not like, we're not trying to trigger lecturers, non-academic staffs or students or anybody here. It's just pointing to the notion that if the foundation is faulty, the building is, we're still referencing buildings collapsing.
Exactly.
If the foundation is faulty, the building is definitely going to have issues. So before we even start looking at the products or the graduates that are coming out of these schools, let's also look at how to help the system, which is the non-academic staff, the lecturers, the system in place on how to even study and get grades.
Yeah, and we've been saying that government needs to prioritize the education sector and invest in it heavily. And by investing in it, it also affects the lecturers. It also affects the people, who are working, the non-academic staff. Kebi mentioned that when you pay them well, they're definitely going to deliver, their roles well.
One thing that I also want to state is that I'm glad he came out to state the obvious, because that's what's happening in schools. More practical, more theory, less practical. And he has come out to say 80% of practical, 20% of theory. He has stated it, but that's one thing with Nigerians. All these top officials, they like to state. Now implementing.
That's
the issue. That's the issue. You're not just coming out to state it, because we have these brilliant ideas. We all have brilliant ideas. But now to implement it is now the problem.
The actual problem. Somebody on WhatsApp, that's Yinka, says, good morning, everyone. As regards the Obasanjo message, now he's no more in power. An age factor. It's not that OBJ's government is not clean of what he's saying. He has opportunities to make cogent changes in the system, empowering institutions. Until our leaders remember, they wouldn't be in power forever. All right, thank you so much, Yinka, on that one. I think that we have a call that we need to take. Hello, good morning. Good morning, Mr. Abdallah.
Good morning, Mr. Abdallah.
Good morning, Mr. Abdallah.
Thank you very much.
Extend my greetings to Mr. James.
Yes.
See, Obasanjo is not a man. The answer they took up the president of Nigeria. Yes. Whatever he did in the past is just a matter of history. Now, they say history is the study of past, present, and future events. Now, let us allow that of history to just go. We can remember it, but we know it is not more useful to us. We are talking about the
The
current
present.
and the future situation that we will find ourselves. You see, when he advised, please look at the pros and cons of the advice and then through the meaningful and correct the anomaly. So that it will be a fast path for the present government. Now, constructive criticism should be welcome. If you
I
do the
agree.
right thing at the right time, and the people that are at the head of affairs do the right thing at the right time, Nigeria would be better and Nigeria would be great. And would actually be the true giant of Africa that we claim. But in a situation where we have psychopaths, we have students in the name of either ministers or personal assistants or video assistants or this and that, and we have several things that are deep from the compass of the government, and they want to again the government of the day. That is to say, scratch my back and scratch your own. Then things will not go well. That's the blatant truth. But if they have been doing the needful, right from the time they were appointed into this position, Nigeria wouldn't have been in the situation that we found ourselves. We know that the situation of Nigeria in terms of monetary problem that we never have later. But correction is not overnight. It's not on one day. It's a gradual process. So we are not saying that Tinubu's government has not succeeded in doing or bringing some certain things. Like the tertiary education non-taught that so many parents have been saved from allowing their children to come out of school. That is part of it. And they don't be able to see and mention so many things like that. I know there are empowerment programs, there are continuation of palliatives that are being sustained. But because of the problems of the country that are so many, in fact, the effect, positive effect cannot easily be felt. It will be in a gradual process. Please, government today, and you, those who are helping the present government, if you don't want to be called stooges, please advise him rightly and let him do the needful, because it is that not you.
Thank you.
You are only serving him for your own gain. It is Nigerian people that are facing the brunt of every negative effect of the policy and of policies that they have brought on board. Now, National Bureau of Statistics has been given so many statistics about price index and what I do, inflationary rate, GDP and what I do.
Yeah. Oh, I think that we've lost Mr. Abdallah right there when he was talking about the statistics. In case you're just tuning in, this is Bright Republic and Bright FM, and we're looking through the top news stories making the headlines in today's newspaper. We're going to be going on a quick break, and we will be right back. Don't touch your radio. Stay with us.
I'm here since 3 days ago. I thought I have done it anyway. is not a lot of consequence. I see them for markets. I see them, you don't know. They say they found yourself, but I never go to that house before.
Let's discuss the headlines and politics.
The Standing Orders of 2011 as amended, which is the new and authentic because it has never. Are you present?
Will you shut up?
Share your opinions. In this republic, we don't turn off your mic. Join us on Bright Republic weekdays 8 a.m.
All right, welcome back. In case you're just tuning in, this is still Bright Republic on Bright 98.7 FM. Mr. Charles is still in the studio, Kevin is still in the studio, and we're trying to look at how we move this country forward by talking about the things that are happening on on our headlines this morning. In case you want to be part of the conversation, you can send in a text message or a voice note via WhatsApp on 0901-615-0614. Let's take that WhatsApp number again, 0901-615-0614. And in case you want to call across to us, our call line is 0808 704 1217, 0808 704 1217. And we are also on Facebook at Bright FM Abuja, so you can follow us on Facebook and on YouTube and be part of the conversation. We've looked at how that presidency attacks OBJ as opposition-backed ex-president. We've touched the story, and then we've looked at federal government to stop university from producing graduates without technical skills. That was an independent newspaper, and we're going to move forward with another conversation right here on Punch, and it says, "Stop reporting police misconduct on social media. IG tells Nigerians," and that's on Punch. "Stop reporting police misconduct on social media. IG tells Nigerians." Let's look into the main story. Now, Inspector General of Police Kayode Egbetokun has urged Nigerians to stop reporting police misconduct on social media and instead direct complaints to the Police Complaint Response Unit. Now, speaking at the PPRO/Police Communication Experts Conference in Asaba, Delta State, the IG, Mr. Kayode, emphasized that social media reports often lead to misinformation and undermine the police force's integrity. He acknowledged social media's role in shaping public opinion, but warned that unverified information creates false perception. Now, the IGP stressed the importance of promoting transparency and accountability within the police force, considering the media a critical partner in this effort. Now, the conference is part of police reform aimed at building trust and respect, helping gain public trust. Governor Sherry of Delta State opened the conference, sharing insights on policing challenges in states like Delta and Lagos. He highlighted the importance of countering misinformation, fostering effective communication between police and the public. He also, Governor praised the IGP's capabilities, citing his experience as CP in Lagos, and emphasized the need for public engagement. He also underscored the role of Police Public Relations Office in addressing misconceptions and showcasing positive police work. They encouraged the public to use established channels for reporting police misconduct, ensuring a structured and accountable process for addressing complaints. Now, I want us to look at this, both sides, right? Because, they've talked about misinformation, because that's where I'm going to sit for a bit. But if you ask me, social media has helped to, shape things as far as accountability is concerned. I think we have a call. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Please, what's your name? Where are you calling from? Mr. John from Taka, good morning to you. Please go ahead. Final. Yes, so. Yes, so God will help us.
something I normally do.
Mm.
You will not know that there is a say that says, everything is good. Let's move the
Mm. Now the cocoa be that now. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
But they should earn minimum wage.
My sister, I want that to go to the generation that happened. Let's sit down, let's not sit down and respect the fact. What was this one year and what have we achieved in this government? And people, if you run that candidate to candidate, you understand me? We can't achieve this government. For this one year, and the remaining years now to achieve. So what? Okay, what happened in the country? We did not wonderful. What you are doing that when the end of the Lagos State started getting their because Lagos State was crowded, the fact everything. You understand? Okay, look at this journalist, actually Gerard. Somebody went full long for there. This is not a journalist. This is not the one for them. Now, if they ask this now, what are we hearing from? That's why when you people are talking about lecturer, I don't used to put my mouth because they are the ones that brought this to us. The people returning officer will keep on saying they are the ones that brought it. I will never blame them. I will not blame them. You understand me? Because where we are sitting now, if my brother, if you give your wife one to prepare food for you, when they don't want, and you remember there is no in the house, you know how many population of the Nigeria, now they are sent to say they are mechanics. Now, when exactly comes to Nigeria now, one of now, when do you hear that energy bring out work for the government, they want to support? When do you hear that CPM bring out work that they want to employ? When do you hear that Hillary bring out work they want to employ? You know, that's the only way we hear employment, army, police, road safety. And if you think less than the 4 months, everyone all out work that they want to employ, some of them are for their self. We should just sit down and reflect to my brothers and sisters. That kind of selflessness, it's not the darkness, it's not in their mind. They don't think about the religion in their own time in different places. But the poor men, you will say, this one now, my Yoruba, my person. This one, my next one, my person. Who is the head for this nation? One that has come in thousand. Where? Now what? Who are going to say that we can get that? It's not that they go market. You go back, you are going to have to come up with the whole 5 months. 3,000 naira. Guess what something to us?
Submission, please.
They don't feel the pain of the money. Yes, I think that is here now. Consider Woodrow 61. Talking time, yes, what's that? The country is hard. If you owe 10,000 naira now, you cannot buy that. You and your wife are
10,000 is the new 1K.
you understand? We have to put that here, and to put that is not working. Everybody says so here. Employment is working.
Let's round up, Mr. John.
Regarding the government sector, they make 5 years. And every day we are having class with where are they going to work? You go to those people, the one that have spent 10 years.
Experience. Thank you so much, Mr. Bright. Yes, so now God will help also. You know, Mr. Bright said, let's reflect, and a lot of the conversations or the points that he raised, right? You see that if you sit down, there's a lot of reflection to do. I think we have another call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good
What's your
morning.
name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Anna Meshai, all the way from Moko.
Your name is what? Your name is what?
Anna Meshai, all the way from Moko Village.
Did you say Anas? I want to get your name well.
Anna.
Anas. Oh, fantastic. Anas. Good to hear from you. Thank you so much. First time caller. Let's clap for him now.
First time caller.
Please go ahead, Mr. Anas.
So, the general police, I think they like to report police.
Yeah, so for social media.
And I know within the IT com, if you come in my area here,
Sure.
Japa Buhari Road, if you go to the way police is there, you will think saying that that's how former president, Governor Muhammadu Buhari said it doesn't end. Because the folks wear black clothes over their base, carry gun, block roads, begin to, if they see you are pregnant, you wear the dark clothes, when you get that, they complain, you begin to collect your body.
Profiling.
I want to know their work. They don't want to do private, and then why are they collecting people more and starting things that even in my area there, people could be. I don't know what those people are doing here every night. They call the block roads, they call order, they catch people up and down. So, it's a general opposition. You need to train a police people very well. When they are well trained, I don't think they will investigate.
Report them for social media.
Social media. Understand, man?
I dare with you.
The general police need to train a people very well and make sure that any matter with the carry to police, they will quickly respond and take necessary action against any police that is trying to spoil police in the country.
Thank you.
Understand?
I dare with
When
you.
they start saying all those things, you will see the people will not carry police issues.
Go put for social media.
When they are respond,
Something will be done about it. Exactly.
so that's my own one. I said, so yeah, police need to do the needful. Not talking to people not for media, because even me, all those things that are doing in our road, I will support them for media.
Thank you so much, Mr. Anas, for your contribution. I appreciate you. You know, say I was getting to that about accountability, right? You've heard what Mr. Anas just said now, that how would you not post on social media? When you go to complain, I mean, do they take your complaint seriously?
You know, exactly what Mr. Anas said was going to be my whole statement. I was going to ask the question: is police your friend? Because that's the first thing
Do you
to
know
look
that
at.
if you tell an average Nigerian now that police is your friend, they feel look you eye like
It takes slaps.
like what are you saying? But police is actually supposed to be our friend. Do you know, I work with teenagers, so sometimes when some of these cases of molestation and all of that come up, and I'm like, but go and report to the police. Police is your friend. They'll be like, from where to? I mean, young children are saying that police is not their friend. How much more adults?
Adults. You know, the funny thing is that once we start looking at it from a holistic point of view, power is intoxicating. And when you start looking at the people who are supposed to uphold the law, now I want to state this before I even get into my points, that this is not even to critique the Nigerian police, because there are people who are doing great work. But these are for the bad eggs that are in there. And the unfortunate thing is that when you come to report a particular system, you come to report the police to the police. And it's something that is going to be against their system. it's going to be a problem because a lot of people, no, it's not even by hearsay. A lot of people have had experiences where you come and say, police did this to me, and they will just sweep it under the rug. But the fact that there's evidence of that on social media, or they were even
It's going
called
to
out.
get somebody to act.
Exactly. Or they were called out on social media about what a particular police person did. That's when they will get to act. A lot of times I've seen cases
You know
where
that right now in Nigeria, if a policeman stops you, your defense mechanism or
is
what
pull
you
out
do
your
is
phone
pull
and
out your
start
phone
streaming.
filming. I'm telling you. That's why we see cases everywhere on social media. So you see the person that they are stopping, video both their face and their badge, their name, everything, and police is saying, why you there? He said, so that I will document, so in case anything, go wrong.
And please, Nigerians, please pay attention to this one, because I feel like if they might, this is like a very, very constitutional right. I feel like it's not constitutional, but it's a right that we should hold on to make sure we hold the police accountable.
Our social media rights.
Our social media rights.
Let's take this call. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Mr. Dennis. Mr. Dennis, please go ahead.
On the social media. Wrong. He doesn't know what he's supposed to say. He doesn't know what he's supposed to do at the right time. Like seeing him as the commissioner of police, he knows the crimes that his boys are committing, and that is why achieve and say they should not post the police on the media. I will give myself as an example. Even when I was in Cyprus, that is how police was molesting me. The same police that we had put together was molesting me. One would go out to our house. So today, everything is there, you go and report. You go and report exactly what this young man did. Go and report, they will not make any interest, any effort. So see, one day I go inside, I say, hi, I think somebody must die. I don't think
I beg go.
somebody will die.
I beg go. You never reach like that.
Another one will die. So that day, it took me.
Okay.
But I was managing myself. The next thing, and if he has 4 bikes on the way, collecting federal money, collecting money from bikes, I did not stop him. But my own, you want to stop. You still give me 100. Every day, have a bro, not let you like money. Any that day, I don't tire. I say, I just go break the head of my bike. What did I do? I do not even look at his age again. If you see what I did to that man, I think your life, if you see me on the way, you never talk.
Okay, but Mr. Dennis, resorting to violence is not always the way out.
No, that's not the way out. There's some instances of police, but violence is the way out today. Because I myself personally made the report, and I went to go in camp and make that report, and so they are taking the case on for me.
So that's what you would have done first, because we don't promote violence. We don't. Resorting to violence is not you. And these our security personnel are there to serve. They're government property.
They are not doing the right thing. Especially police, they are not doing the right thing. So after that incident, I have to report to the police, and police now have to assist me. If not by their fault, this man wants to kill for no reason. I said there should not be problem. I'm coming for you. That is what I told him. In the next 1 year, I think that was 2016, was also a suspected as Nigerian army. When the guy heard that army now,
Voila. You see power tussle. This is Nigeria. Oh my God.
Police are saying that if they are molesting innocent people, people that went out the street to help themselves, they are not there. Instead of them to help those commoners, they are not doing it. Rather, they will turn it and be haunting them. That's why it's many of them people, they will die any age, we will see them on the way. Look at that. Honestly, it's not good.
I understand you, Mr. Dennis.
So that statement I keep making is very, very wrong. It's very, very wrong. That is the only way the masses can do, and the crime will be out. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dennis. And I understand Mr. Dennis's pains. I mean, somebody just shared a personal experience. If nobody say him, you can't become army now.
Wahala for
Just
days,
and
if
just
you
like
get
just like Mr. Because we don't agree to violence.
Of course.
We don't support resorting to violence. I mean, report to the appropriate authorities. But again, we understand that how he feels the pain, and just like Mr. Dennis, there are several other Nigerians out there who has faced
similar situation.
situations.
And the important part is that until you pull out your phone and start filming, that's when you're going
Sometimes
to
they
get a
even take your
response.
phone and smash it.
That's even the worst part. Regardless of, even if you don't film, a lot of times you've seen cases that you reported this, you have video evidences, you have pictorial evidences. But
when they take your phone, they'll delete it.
If you don't have that, then say this did not happen. They could deny that any allegation against the police. If we are not seeing that this police person, all of us are seeing it, but the fact that the evidences are out on social media, and this is, I get that they're trying to like mitigate the spread of false information. That's one is there. But you see, for the protection of citizens, if we are not posting police wrongdoing on social media, you people will not believe that this actually happened.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. This is Mr. John calling back.
Mr. John.
My sister.
You.
I make your men keep them away. Not social media. How much compared to how much is the salary? This man, we retire. The big thing, how much is the package? You understand? And the business, there is no package to go to. And I'm not encouraging what to do, but our government take the position of the country. Police who are buying uniform for themselves, they are who are buying by themselves from their salary. You understand? But at the same time, if they don't pay you well, you understand? And people now tell you, give you more money and then they are finally for advance to drive them. You understand? You connect them. Maybe if money is over there, you will make it over.
Not being paid well should not justify wrongdoings, Mr. John.
No, I know. You understand? The IT should make it true. They should improve their salary. That's what I'm checking.
I get you.
You understand? You don't publish to them. Sometimes you don't publish to the people at home. They are sitting at home. If you make their salary look good, even though they are paying them, they still $300,000, $400,000 more. I'm not encouraging you.
I feel you. Thank you so much, Mr. John. Oh my God. Thank you so much, Jen. Thank you for your contribution. Thank you so much. As somebody said on WhatsApp, that's Yinka said, good morning, everyone. The IGP should soft pedal on his fright on social media. We need social media as evidence and also to support our campaign. Thank you so much. I am Kebby. I think we need to also understand where Mr. John was coming from, with the allowance and the pay of police, and that it was part of also what the NSAS people were asking for, was part of their demands also, because even as a people we understand that our security personnel need to be catered for properly for them to in turn serve us well. Kirby. Okay, hello, good morning. Good morning, Mr. Roberts. Is that you? Okay. All right. Well, he don't already hear you. We don't need to tell him again. Thank you so much. All right, thank you, Mr. Roberts. Now, Kevin, let's hear from you,
So you
please.
see, when these police are being paid well, when their needs are being catered, because if you look at some of where they are even staying, look at the lodges and you see where they are staying, you be like, is this Nigerian police? So if they are being catered well, you know, their salaries are good enough. It's not like corruption is not something you can end at once. But at least if their needs are answered.
That's why Charles started by saying that we have good eggs.
Mhm.
So with the people we're talking about or talking to are the bad people in the system.
Exactly. When we actually even look at it, the problem is not even the fact that he's saying that the IG is saying that social media is a medium for spreading false information. But we were looking at it from a medium to show their dirty linens. This is a problem with your system. This is a problem with how am I as a citizen telling police that you don't have the rights, you that is supposed to be upholding the law, I'm telling you that you don't have the right to search my phone. You that suppose know law for your head, and they tell you say it's not in your place to search my phone.
Charles, this is the thing they need to do. They need to, first of all, before he had come out to say this thing, they need to work on themselves. Like, go back into their system and look at how they need to change a lot before coming out to say people, because people will talk. Even if police is doing good, they will still come out and see it on that social media, same social media, and say they are doing good. So they need to look at their systems. Why is it that people are always like bringing them out on social media? Then through that way, then they can know that, okay, this is a problem, then tackle it. Because once you start answering your people well, you know, paying those police well, they won't come out on streets. Like, there's a particular street on my way where you see police stop. If your car is too fine, they will stop you. And if you happen
If
to
you're
be
a young
guy,
person,
if you happen to be a guy, they will say, oh yeah, now find us something.
God forbid you dress well.
you dress well.
No, you don't need to dress well, as long as your car is
profile,
fine.
if you have maybe styly hair or maybe you braided your hair as a
See,
guy.
this one
you're a
I'm talking
target.
about, you don't need to dress fine. Your car is your selling point. Once your car is fine, they are stopping you, and once a guy, they are already telling you, have a find or something. So you see, it's not like that thing can stop all at once. But once these people are being catered for, you see that it will reduce a little because they will be content with what they have.
Literally, like you said, it's not because you're not getting paid well that would result you to acting negligent. Yes.
Do
we
the
know.
right thing.
We know that people are not getting paid well. Again, can we stop the culture of transfer of aggression?
Because
in this
Nigerians are
country?
feeling the brunt too. The same
Well, let's
price
really
when
look
they
at
sell
it.
for policeman 100 and
Thank you very much. Now-
we kuma not be the same this
Thank
thing
you
we
very
dey buy
much.
am.
Why when Nigerians was doing end bad governance protest, not be the same police people wey come dey stop us from doing the protest. I hope you know they feel the same thing wey we dey feel.
Even this recent protest, they were not the ones to stop it.
Exactly.
And I keep asking myself that question, like, okay, why people stop it? I'm not feeling it too.
We're
Can't you-
looking for change, but again, I think that from this particular everybody who has said something about this, the social media, you know, reporting police misconduct on social media, I don't think is stopping anytime.
It's not going to stop.
So I think that what the police can do is also to leverage the social media to, you know, put out the right information. Do you understand? In fact, some of our traditional medias now are on social media.
Of course.
Do you understand? So that you're saying this is the official page of police. In case you hear anything, you should come, and that also means that they have to be active, whoever their handler is. That our traditional medias need to also come there, you know, use fantastic handlers, because the social media is where the people are at.
Social
at the
media
time.
is Nigeria's
It's where
Nigeria
the,
police
exactly, it's where the
body
people are
cam.
at now. So, and there's no way something is happening to you. You know, nobody know your papa normally for this Nigeria. Do you understand? You don't get connect anywhere. You're in the middle of something with, you know, the security operative. You don't know how it's going to go. If you bring out your phone, it serves as evidence, because if you even want to go to court now, you're not going to tell them that that's not how. No, you're going to bring evidence to show for it.
Until the Nigerian police wearing body cam, yeah, And even then, because if you go, police will assault you and then you say check the police body cam and say battery die. Baba, we go still dey record. Still need to be recording this kind of incidences because again, this is our own proof that
Something
police
happened.
did this to you. Because it's supposed to be unfathomable that the police was showing injustice to you, people who are supposed to hold up justice. But in the flip script that we have as a society, is the police now that is doing more damage to you than even the criminals out there.
It's a
Again,
lot
I
to
will
take
still
in.
point out, it's the bad eggs. It's not all the police people out there. So if you feel that you're being triggered right now, if the shoe fits, go ahead and wear it.
This is also because there are also people who their job description is to be spreading false information on social media.
True.
All right. So because from that end also I understand what the IGP is saying. So please stop. Do you understand? Stop. And you that you're consuming things on social media, understand that you need to go to verified platforms, to get your news from. If not, you're going to be misled. Kibex from Live Camp said, when you leave your home every day, just say this prayer: Lord, keep me from the hands of my enemies and protect me against the Nigerian police. May I never encounter them at all. And we're not too bothered about driving into thieves, but we're scared of meeting police, especially in dark corners.
This happened recently.
This is really sad.
This happened recently. I was on my way to work recently. Now this is just like nothing happened, but I was on my way to work. A police van was passing, and the way all of them looked at me, I felt the need to just pull out my phone and start streaming immediately.
Okay.
I don't do anything, but they wait for taxi to go to work.
Okay.
And the way they were just passing and looked at me, I swear if they just pulled over, I'm streaming immediately.
So Charles, they cannot just look at you.
Why would you look at me? What are you?
They cannot just look at you.
And I'm very sure that a lot of
Good morning. Oh, I think that we lost that one right there. Let's take another story and see what we can make out of it. And that's an independent newspaper. It says CBN sounds alarm. Beware of fraudsters posing as contract awarders. Hello, good morning. Mr. John. No, I didn't hear you. Thank you so much, Mr. John. Mr. Robert don't hear you. He says this job will not give us this morning. Okay, so let's look into that story. The Central Bank of Nigeria has issued a warning to Nigerians about scammers pretending to represent the bank in awarding contracts for construction and financial interventions. These fraudsters claim to have received award letters for contracts on behalf of the CBN, but the bank has confirmed that it is entirely false. Now, according to Mrs. Hakama Sidi Ali, the acting director of corporate communications, the primary goal of these scammers is to deceive unsuspecting Nigerians. The CBN has discontinued all direct development interventions and has authorized any contracts. So any claims about these initiatives are fraudulent and should be disregarded. The CBN remains focused on its core mandate of ensuring monetary stability and maintaining a sound financial system in Nigeria. As part of this effort, the bank urges the public to report suspicious activities or publications to law enforcement agencies. By staying vigilant and reporting these scams, Nigerians can help prevent fraud and protect their financial interests. To stay safe, it's essential to remember that the CBN doesn't authorize public notices for interventions on social media or other outlets. If you receive any information claiming to be from the CBN, verify it through official channels before taking any action. By working together, we can combat these scams and maintain a secure financial environment in Nigeria. So in the morning when I and Kirby were going through this, one of the things that I said was that this news is very important to follow because we're entering into the Ember period. We are in the Ember period.
Like almost at the last
exactly,
lap.
we're almost at the last lap, and these things are bound to happen. Even aside the awarding of contracts and all of that, it was one time, I think it was, I've forgotten, one of our callers who mentioned how that his brother was duped by a bank, and I was trying to make the person understand that bank is not going to steal your money. Bank is not going to defraud you. CBN is not going to defraud you. Some persons are posing
As the bank.
as the bank, and they are taking your money from you. So when we saw this news this morning, I said this is also going to be
An avenue for even the banking system to let people know that there are fraudsters out there. So you should be very, very wary and careful. If the conversation of investment or anything that concerns like banking and the huge chunk of money is not happening over the counter or in front of the table, face to face, don't have that kind of
don't have
conversation.
it.
Because why are you discussing millions of naira over the phone?
They go say provide OTP. We just sent you an OTP. Tell us your BVN. Tell us the last number of your bro.
Look, the world has evolved to the point that unfortunately, I'm not sorry for anybody who loses their money at this point.
I'm
because
sorry, you know some people are
Look, no matter what, because I really feel
empathy and sympathy.
all right, no problem. I'll have empathy, but after this conversation, this is one of those now. So why are you falling victim for it? At this point, I really don't think anybody should be falling victim for it. Even telephone scams. I really don't think anybody should be falling victim for that.
Is one of the most annoying one. Like, Daddy, I told you what happened to me. The person called and was like, Access Bank, and we want to give. Access Bank is having network issue, and CBN is sharing 15K to
Like
Access Bank customers because of the network issue. That should tell him the middle of my account number. That my account number start from 14.
Aren't you my banker? Why don't you have that information?
Exactly. And like you work in the bank, you see all these things. And he said me, he just wants to confirm so that he can send the money.
Here's a
And another reason why people fall into these traps is greed.
Exactly.
Because where do you want to just see 50,000 naira just like that? 15,000 that is not work for bank. We just want to dash you
because of network. Like because they have network issue.
Okay, bank will have network issue. They'll not pay you for damages.
Charles, the funny part when I was like, well, I cannot give you. The man was like, calm down, breathe, and tell me your account number. I was like, what can I tell you? Then I was like,
please.
He was not treating like I was a child. Yeah, just give me I'm like.
It'd be like a therapy.
Say please.
Let's take this call. Hello, good morning. Good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's me, Anas Meshai calling.
Okay, Mr. Anas Meshai.
I just want to say something about this issue of banking.
Oh, okay, please.
CBN had to upgrade banking system issue. Like also that other people say I'm from your bank. They could even call your name.
Yes. Now how to call my name.
The first 4 digits of your account number.
Sometimes people even just down saying, how those people get my information if there is not in the public system? Number one, when you go to some sectors or organization like DigiBuy, you get one time where I go to DigiBuy. When you go to the people provide your BVN, NIN, this, that, you don't already see you. Understand? You verify everything, but they are not good to call you over. To know whether you collect the phone. But why bank you don't want to upgrade like that? If like scammer want look money to your bank, let them contact your customer to make sure they are aware of this transaction that you want to now into your bank.
Every time.
People need to do something. Understand? Not to be telling people when they call, because how those people take your information.
Mr. Meshai.
I don't think it's every time that you're having a transaction from your bank, because even if you want to collect 1K say from your bank now, they have to keep notifying you if it's by that. Do you get? Have you noticed that when a certain huge amount of money enters your bank and your account is not
freeze it now.
Is not supposed to carry that amount of money, and that amount of money enters your bank, they freeze your account. Have you noticed that? Exactly.
But when those people, when
That could be.
It's almost happened almost every day. They
uh,
need to do something to protect their customers.
I understand. All right.
I think I also get what Mr. Mishari is saying.
I get what
Thank
he's
you,
trying to
Mr.
say.
Mishari. Thank you so much. So I think it's more like a two-factor authentication
Yes.
kind of thing, so that customers are aware that the bank will never, and that's where sensitization also comes in. So for every time when customers come to your bank and you finish interacting with them, I think it won't cost anything to say, oh, in case so anybody reaches out to you to say, because this is the recent trend. In case anybody reaches out to you to say, send your this thing, don't send. The bank will not do this, the bank will not do that.
When you go to an ATM to withdraw, there is a notification there. No, you try to read. There's a notification there that says the bank will not. The bank will not ask you to send your details
Exactly.
or even ask for the. We have it now. We create that for you. So why are we asking you to send it to us? Even while you sometimes whenever you make a transaction and you're getting your alert for maybe credit or deposit, you get there are certain footnotes there that says we will not ask you for certain details about all of this. It's there. You're opening a bank app. That information is there too.
Yeah.
So be reading all the fine print.
Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Mr. Abdallah.
Abdullah, calling from Hawaii.
Yes, please, go ahead.
Let me just not. I was talking about the government establishment that was giving this or data to the government so that they can, in order to ameliorate the situation that people are in the country. Because that is the purpose. That is National Bureau of Statistics. Now, for the Inspector General of Police, this inspector group saying that the people should not
Report, yes, on social media. Misconduct on social media.
Where is the freedom of expression?
That's the question.
The constitutional provision is a statement about the constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. No. That is the answer. Now, the most important thing that we should even concentrate on is how to increase the number of the police in the country. It should pressurize the president to see to it that the number of police is increased drastically for the purpose of causing the insecurity in the country. And also training the police not to compromise in their activities of enforcing law and order. And they should also do the needful so that them will get better and police will truly become the
friends.
Not enemies. Now, there is also one thing that I observed in most of the police stations, and I say the entire Nigerian police station. So it's not ideal for me to generalize. They don't have CCTV cameras in the police station. What to the divisional police offices nationwide?
Because now webcam they have.
And see whether they have CCTV cameras that will be recording all what is happening in the police station. If not, so many things will be glaring to even the Inspector General of Police. Because they do it even in the police station for brutality, inhumanity, and whatever. They do it in the police station. Apart from the one that individuals usually send out casually and privately. So there are so many things to talk about. For CDM, issuing that a sort of notice or information wanted to the consumers of conventional banks, I think the only thing we will advise ourselves, the consumers, that we should be very careful. They say look before you leave, so that we will not fall victims of those type of cyber crimes and dastardly acts of
Please round up, Mr. Abdallah.
I either in the police, in the bank themselves. Because some banks, after hearing people make their voices in this platform or other platform, they to correct it and nobody. For example, GTV has started correcting, but some of the money that had up to now, they have not returned.
Please round up, Mr. Abdallah.
But there are some others that are still campaigning about it. They refuse to do the needful. And some of the bank staff too, in fact, they bluntly and indirectly seek for sort of corrupt demand from their customers, especially if they discover that we are not all that knowledgeable.
Please round up, Mr. Abdallah. Yeah.
Let us do the right thing at the right time. And please, security is everybody's business.
When you see something fantastic. Thank you so much, Mr. Abdallah. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I think that's a good note to end it. He said, say something when you see something. So let's round off. Mr. Charles, let's get your last take.
My submission right here would be that as Nigerians, I'm going to drop off the last conversation about fraudsters. Pay attention. No bank will ask you for your information, and if you're going to make any transaction that is a huge chunk of money, go to the bank and have that
And
conversation.
please learn to read things. Just read
Read.
things. So that
Don't
you-
give your
exactly.
information off over the phone. Even if the person is even your bank accountant, don't give that information over the phone.
Thank you. Kerry, please.
Like I always say, be a patriotic Nigeria, because it will go a long way for us.
Thank you so much. And that brings us to the end of today's Bright Republic on Bright FM 98.7. Thank you to Mr. Charles. Shout out to you, KB. Thank you for your thoughts and perspectives this morning. To all of our callers, Mr. Bright was our first caller for today. Shout out to you, Mr. Bright, Mr. Robert, Mr. Abdallah from Bari. Thank you for being a consistent caller. Mr. Yinka chatted us on WhatsApp. George from Guarimpa, thank you so much. Mr. John from Utako, shout out to you. Mr. Anas Meshai, I think he's a first-time caller. Shout out to you, Mr. Anas Meshai. Mr. Dennis from Duse, I think you're also a first-time caller. Shout out to you also. Keybex from Lifecare, thank you so much to make the show what it is. Please stay tuned because OB of Sports will be taking over next to give you all of the latest on the world of sports. Until next time, please stay bright.
How the show gets don't forget.
Right, Sergeant.
19.
Time no go like that.
I don't know who opened on this red and blue light. I'm forgetting that the red and blue
Give me a
light.
second. Also, sorry. Apologies.
The red and blue light, what it does is to even make the